The problem is that on the very day that Putin invaded Ukraine, you shook hands with him in the Kremlin. That suggests, if you know, at least that you endorse what he's doing in Ukraine.
Mark, how the hell was I supposed to know that the day I landed in Moscow, Putin was going to go into Ukraine?
But remember, you didn't need to go ahead with the meeting.
Even then, from Moscow. So hold on, Mark. My statement as Moscow was, I have never believed in military solutions. So never did I endorse that. Ours was totally a bilateral meeting, and it was planned long before.
The ties you have with Russia and China suggests that you went ahead with that meeting, that human rights are secondary to trade for you. Russia is waging a war on its neighbour, killing civilians. China has a terrible record on human rights, repressing the Uyghurs and other minorities.
Mark, I was elected by 220 million people of Pakistan to serve them. My number one priority is there are 50 million Pakistanis below the poverty line. I was not elected for them to correct all the wrongs that are going on in the world. My responsibility was my country. And so all my relationships, whether it was with China, with the United States, with Russia, were for the benefit of our own people. Listen, in Kashmir, which is a dispute between Pakistan and India, India has violated all United Nations resolutions on Kashmir. They've illegally taken away the right of the Kashmiri people and basically got rid of the statehood. Now, did anyone speak against it? There are atrocities going on in Kashmir. 100,000 people in Kashmiris have died. Has anyone condemned India for that? No, because India is an ally. Allow us to be neutral too so that we can look after our own people.
What about Afghanistan? Are you pleased to see the Taliban back in control in Afghanistan? Were you pleased to see the West defeated?
Mark, Afghanistan there was never going to be a military solution. Anyone who knows the history of Afghanistan, and the British above all, have experienced 3 wars in Afghanistan. The 3 times they've gone into Afghanistan in the 19th century, twice in 19th and once in the 20th century. There was never going to be a military solution. People like us who kept saying that this is not, you will not solve Afghanistan problem by bombing them or sending your military, we were called pro-Taliban. People like us were always talking about how would there be people in Afghanistan. For 40 years, they've been suffering.
But so at the end, you said... But at the end, you said...
It's not whether you are in one... Mark, this is not a football match, whether you're on one side or the other. It's trying... And when when there are problems there, the country that suffers most is Pakistan. Because we already have 3.5 billion Afghan refugees there.